Hi kids! Today we will learn about the human brain. It's the main part of our central nervous system. The human brain is the most complex organ. The human brain weighs only about 3 pounds and is estimated to have about 100 billion cells. And the brain is mostly made up of cells called neurons. Neuron is a specialized cell that lets it transmit signals from one neuron to the other in the form of electromagnetic waves. This is a cell body that has a nucleus inside it. These are dendrites that receive messages in the form of electrical signals. And this is axon, where the message in the form of electrical signals travels and passes to the dendrites of the next neurons. These are axon terminals that join with the next neurons. Electrical signal keeps on moving from one neuron to the other till it reaches its destination. So the brain is the control center of the body that controls every action and reaction of our body. It's the brain that tells us if we are hungry and should eat something. It's the brain that tells us that something is hot and we should not touch it. It's the brain that makes us smile, makes us walk, play, dance, read, dream, cry, imagine, and just everything. Let's learn in detail the parts of the brain. Brain lies well protected inside the hard bony skull. There is some space between the brain and the skull, and it's filled with cerebrospinal fluid. This fluid acts as a cushion for the delicate brain. The brain is a wrinkled structure that resembles a walnut. Now let's learn the main parts of our brain. The brain mainly consists of 3 parts: cerebrum, cerebellum, and medulla or brainstem. Cerebrum. This part of the brain is called cerebrum. It's the largest part of the brain you can see. This part is responsible for learning, memory, thinking, reasoning, and consciousness. All the actions that we take knowingly or with our full consciousness are known as voluntary actions, and all these voluntary actions are controlled by our cerebrum. Next is the cerebellum. This part of the brain situated below the cerebrum, and it's called cerebellum. It is also known as the smaller brain, and its main function is to make sure that the balance of our body is maintained. That is, it keeps us in balance while we are walking, we are sitting, we are dancing, or while we are exercising. That is, it ensures smoothness in our movements. Medulla, or the brainstem. This part of the brain connects the brain to the spinal cord. Medulla is responsible for the involuntary actions of our body. That is, actions that we do not take knowingly, like sneezing, our heartbeat, our breathing, movement in the stomach, and many other functions that happen in our body. And we do not take these actions knowing they are just happening on their own. These functions are controlled by medulla of the brain. Our brain is divided into 2 hemispheres, left and right. The left hemisphere and the right hemisphere does a different job. It is responsible for analytical activities. It analyzes the information which is collected by the right brain. And the right brain is more responsible for visual activities. That is, it collects the visual information. If someone gets a stroke in the left hemisphere of his brain, the right side of his body stops working. And if there is an injury to the right hemisphere, the left side of the body stops working. This is why one half of the face may droop when a person has had a stroke. In the general population, 95% of people are right-handed, which means that the left hemisphere is more dominant. In case of left-handers, the right hemisphere is more dominant. Now let's learn about our spinal cord. It is the main nerve of our body. It's an S-shaped nerve that starts from the brainstem or medulla. It's thick as a finger and is about 45 inches long. The S shape of the spinal cord gives it more strength. The role of the spinal cord is to transfer the signals from all body parts to the brain, and also transfer the signals from the brain to all the parts of the body. Many nerves branch out from the spinal cord to different parts of the body. Information from the brain goes out through the spinal cord to different body parts to make them work. Almost all parts of the body send signals to the brain through the spinal cord. But only in the case of vision and hearing, signals do not go through the spinal cord, but they go directly to the brain. That's why people who are completely paralyzed, that is, are unable to move their limbs and other body parts, are still able to see and hear. The spinal cord lies inside the backbone, or the vertebral column, which is made up of small bones called vertebrae, and there are 26 vertebrae in the vertebral column. For example, if someone is pricked by a pin or any sharp object, the nerve endings in that portion of the body at once passes the message to the spinal cord, and that is through the sensory nerves. And spinal cord then passes this message to the brain. Brain interprets the message and sends the order back to that portion of the body. And it is at once moved away. This is why we quickly remove our hand if it gets hurt from something hot or something sharp. If in any way we are going to get hurt, we get away quickly. These are called reflex actions. If something comes too close to our eyes immediately shut. This too is a reflex action. All this sending and receiving of messages is too fast. It's so unimaginably fast that even before taking a sudden action, messages have already passed between the body parts and the brain. So kids, today we learned about our brain, spinal cord, and what are reflex actions. Now go ahead and take a quiz to learn more. Bye-bye!
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. And if you want to see more fun videos, you can hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more content. Bye-bye!